Hi, Rebecca. How you doing? I was reading your writing, so you're super behind, and I get that. It seems like a lot of students are running a little bit behind. It's a really quick couple of days going from, Sunday to this critique board just 2 days later. So I totally get it. It's the busiest week of the class, so I get it. So I'm glad that you had, you gave us something to look at here, so we can at least take a look stylistically at where you're headed and make some comments therein. So, and that's exactly what I will do. So line work is done, and that's good. So you're getting some good development there. Got some, got some good dimension going with the basket, the bowl, and then, you're starting to show a little bit of color development. That's all great. I think everything here is looking good and pointing in the right direction. One thing I want to address is the actual cheese grater. It was the cheese grater for the foot, the skin exfoliator, right? So the cheese grater, as we can see right here, it's just a little bit of difference in scale. Now the problem with the cheese grater is it's got too much detail. So let's zoom in and we can see all of this detail is lost in the cheese grater. And even from in this little bit of a scale change right here, let's zoom back up, we can see that all those details are now starting to turn into black shapes. Now, that's just an inherent part of strokes and fills in Illustrator and showing things at a small scale. So what I would recommend is to try to keep this as simple as possible. All these tiny little details are going to get lost when you scale down. Now, one thing I want you to make sure is that when you're scaling down, make sure that you're scaling your strokes and styles. Let me show you what I mean. So what in this particular illustration, there's not a whole lot of, well, let me do this. Let me just duplicate this a couple of times. And then we'll just scale these down a little bit. And then we'll try to make them. Okay, so this is a good example right here. We'll even increase the stroke size and then just a little bit. So, okay, good. All right, so now what we would be tempted to do to resize this is just a marquee select it, or if it's grouped, select it, and grab marquee, select it, grab it, and hold our shift key down and reduce the size, right? But look what happens when we get small. Some of it's starting to really lose its detail. So an alternative to that, I just want to make sure that you're doing this. I just deleted that, and there it is. Okay, so I want to make sure you're doing this. So instead of manually resizing, what you want to do is just come up here, select this, come over to the word object, and go to transform. This is the menu, of course, at the top of the screen. Transform and select scale. This scale dialog box will open, and make sure that you're clicking scale, strokes, and effects. Make sure that is clicked. Now you can come over here and if you say, let's even 10%, you click OK. Look how tiny it is, but the scales have been preserved. The scale and the scale of the stroke has been preserved, as we can see when we zoom in. Do you see that? So make sure you're doing that. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'm not sure if you weren't doing that, but you definitely want to. I think that these are really, really complex little illustrations to try to show at a small size. So either simplify the cheese grater or don't scale it down quite so much where the lines start to run together, as we can see right about there. Now it starts to become black blobs instead of little detailed holes in the grater, right? So think about that. Other than that, I mean, and that's really all I can really comment on at this point, but I do want to leave this option for you that, as you're working and as we approach, we're getting closer to Sunday. I know it's already Thursday, but, come Saturday, and I'm going to try to be in every day because I know a few students are running behind. So if you want to repost something before your final submission, please have at it. And just give me a shout out. Give me a shout. Let me know. I'll probably see it. Just post it right to the discussion board. Like I said, I'll be in every day. So I'll be glad to provide additional comments and critiques prior to your final submission. I have no issues with that at all. As a matter of fact, I'll be glad to do that. All right. So good start. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Great job. Thanks.